Tallinn, Estonia. Hi, I'm Lori, a senior solo traveler, and I recently spent 3 days in Tallinn. However, this part of my month-long trip was not solo. I met up with an Estonian friend, and she showed me around the city. It was lovely to get her perspective on the country. She was certainly passionate about each place we visited. Seeing the city through her eyes was a special gift, which broadened my tourist view. I arrived on a ferry from Helsinki and previously posted a video on it. I'll share with you my 5 favorite places or districts we visited. I'll apologize in advance for my poor Estonian pronunciation. Number 1, Old Town. Tallinn's number 1 tourist destination is undoubtedly the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Old Town. Now, I've been to many old towns during my travels, but Tallinn's is especially well preserved. There were once 46 defense towers and 4 kilometers of walls surrounding what is now considered the Old Town. Now there are 26 towers and 2 kilometers of walls, so there is still over half of the fortress intact. You can visit many of the towers and walk along some of the walls. Here are some of the fortress towers and walls we visited. My favorite scenic spot in the old city was this viewing platform, where there were bird's eye views of the park, lake, and town. It was very striking to see the red rooftops and periodic spires peeking out from the trees. In the middle of Old Town is the Town Hall Square, which is a central hub of activity. When I was visiting, there was a medieval festival taking place, so there were some special events and street vendors. The streets are so charming, it's fun to just stroll around the town and pop into and out of shops and alleyways. Anchoring Town Hall Square is, of course, the Town Hall, which is now a museum. We paid to visit the museum, which has some beautiful arched ceilings, interesting architectural details, medieval furniture, and some fascinating artifacts. There were a couple levels that you reached by stairs, each full of historical displays. The admission also included entrance to the Town Hall Tower. The stairs were very uneven and steep, with only a flappy rope for a handrail. For seniors out there, my advice would be to skip it. As a matter of fact, I'd give this a hard no and would suggest everyone give it a second thought. I was hoping the effort would be worth it when you got to the top, but the windows were graded with limited views. There are much better places to get a good view of the town with easier access. Not too far from the town hall is the Church of the Holy Spirit. It is another landmark that is worth checking out. The architecture is eye-catching, with this wonderful wooden clock buried into one of its sides. The most prominent church in Old Town is probably St. Olaf's Church. We visited the interior of the church, which was simple but lovely. I love these decorative arches. We did not go up in the tower since it was at the end of a long day. The tower is an extra charge and 258 steps to the top. We also walked through St. Catherine's Passage, or this name. It is a charming and historic alleyway renowned for its medieval atmosphere and artisan shops. There are also some ancient tombstones from the Dominican monastery lining the entranceway. If you visit Old Town, don't miss Raeapteek, one of the oldest pharmacies in Europe and the oldest in Tallinn. It was opened in 1422 and still operates today. Although the products on offer, thankfully, have changed since the 15th century. There is a free mini-museum inside the pharmacy, which I found quite fascinating. It displays some of the interesting medicines that were once sold there, and some of them are just wild, such as parched bees, mummy fragments, and earthworms and oil. You had to wonder how they administered these. And finally, I would highly recommend eating at this restaurant, the Pub Compressor, which was a 3-minute walk from the Town Hall Square. My friend said they have the best crepes, and I would absolutely agree. We had lunch there and ordered 1 savory and 1 sweet crepe. So yummy. Number 2, Kadriorg Park and Palace. Kadriorg Park is an expansive park with numerous areas for strolling, bike riding, and enjoying nature. There is a Japanese garden at one end and a beautiful lake with a fountain at the other end. But most of the park is unmanicured, giving it a natural beauty. The centerpiece of Kadriorg is a Baroque palace built more than 300 years ago. The building is impressive with its stately and detailed architecture. Behind the palace are some lovely gardens with a central fountain. Also in the park is the Estonian Art Museum, also known as Kumu, which houses a collection of Estonian art. You could really spend an entire day just exploring everything the park has to offer. Number 3, Noblessner Seafront Quarter. Along the seafront is the former submarine factory named after its founders Emanuel Nobel and Arthur Lessner. Now here you will find a modern urban space with artsy shops, an outdoor event space, a marina, street vendors, and restaurants where you can enjoy the sea views. Also along the coastline is Igloo Park. As I walked by these miniature igloo-shaped buildings, they piqued my curiosity. I discovered later that the buildings are used for accommodation, saunas, and even workspaces. Cool idea! I'll leave a link with information in the description. A short distance from Noblessner is an outdoor ship museum where there are several historic ships nestled along the harbor. Visitors are allowed to freely climb on board and explore. When I was there, it was a bit of a carnival atmosphere with outdoor vendors and lots of people enjoying the sunny day. There's also a maritime museum in the vicinity, which you may want to consider if you visit. Number 4, Telliskivi Creative City. Telliskivi is one of the locals' favorite places to hang out. My friend was excited to show me this district because of its artistic and imaginative atmosphere. When you wander the streets here, you will see some fun artwork on the buildings and lampposts. It's all very playful. As a matter of fact, you can even practice tightrope walking. Here's my scary attempt. The main building is a former factory that is now home to numerous shops and restaurants. There is artwork and creativity displayed everywhere, creating a very spirited and playful ambiance. Telliskivi is also home to the Fotografiska Tallinn, a photographic art center with a delightful lower-level space with a cafe and shop. I paid to visit the Photographic Museum, and it was one of the highlights of my trip. There were quite a few interactive exhibits, which I couldn't resist. And I really liked the current exhibit, which was both profound and fanciful. Number 5, Rotermann Quarter. Founded in the 19th century by industrialist Christian Abraham Rotermann, this industrial center has grown into one of the city's most prominent districts of modern architecture, where old and new are skillfully blended. The quarter offers a wide range of shops, cafes, restaurants, and other activities. This is a great area for finding food, drink, and nightlife. It is a lively district where I enjoyed lunch sitting out on the sidewalk and people watching. There is a fun fountain in the center of the main square where this bird was enjoying some refreshment. There are frequent playful sculptures that are spread throughout the area. There are some fun busks that randomly line one alleyway. And at the end of one building is one of the prettiest floral shops I've seen. So those are my 5 favorite areas I visited in Tallinn. I should mention that I also took a short trip out of town to the Viimsi Open Air Museum, which is a collection of historic buildings set along the picturesque seashore of Pringi village. It was a scenic trip where I learned a bit of history and enjoyed some beautiful views. And my friend taught me how to use these interesting double swings where you both stand on them to make them go back and forth. I'm not sure this was a smart activity for the senior, but you only live once. For solo travelers, Tallinn is a safe and welcoming city. For senior travelers, I did find myself navigating some hills and stairs while exploring the old city, but there were always other options. I was able to get senior rates at many places, so make sure you ask for the pensioners rate if you are a senior. If you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. Check out the Senior Solo Travel website and Facebook forum where you can interact with other travelers. I have left links to those sites as well as others from the Scandinavian and Baltic Trip in the description below. And if you'd like to follow my senior and solo travel journeys, please like and subscribe. Next stop, Riga, Latvia.